In the modern world, many are led to believe that governments hold the reins over money, shaping economies and influencing wealth through their decisions. The image of politicians attaching their signatures to important financial documents evokes a sense of authority and power, suggesting they dictate monetary policy. Yet, this notion is but a fragment of the reality. Governments are not the ultimate creators of currency. Instead, they rely heavily on financial institutions that conjure money from mere numbers. This essential dependency reveals a truth that remains obscured from the public glare. As currencies flow through economies like lifeblood, the real power lies in the central banks. These institutions, often housed in imposing buildings adorned with grand architecture, wield remarkable influence over the financial landscape. They are the architects of monetary policy, determining how much money circulates within nations, setting interest rates that can prompt investment or deter borrowing, and overseeing inflation that can either stimulate growth or precipitate crises. Their decisions resonate throughout economies, dictating the boom of thriving markets or the despair of faltering ones. What shocks many, however, is the fact that these central banks operate with a significant degree of independence from elected officials. Politicians may voice their opinions about economic strategies, but they lack the authority to directly control these banks. In a democracy, citizens may go to the polls to vote for change, but the reality is that the institutions manipulating money operate outside the electorate's immediate influence. This disconnect underscores a profound contradiction. The economic power that central banks hold does not conform to the principles of democracy, but rather, it pulls the strings of democratic processes. Understanding this relationship is crucial. It reframes the narrative around government authority and economic agency, illuminating how financial flow can dictate political power instead of the other way around. Ultimately, acknowledging this dynamic is essential in navigating the complexities of modern economies. It compels citizens to question the narrative surrounding government control, urging them to look deeper into the forces shaping their lives. The unyielding reality is that money and its management do not abide by the democratic ideals we often hold dear. Rather, democracy tangles itself in the web spun by financial institutions. It is a reminder of the inherent complexity within governmental structures and economic systems, inviting a more informed discourse on the manipulation of power in the realm of finance and governance. In the intricate lattice of global finance, the true power brokers often remain hidden from plain sight. While central banks appear to sit atop the economic hierarchy, the reality unveils a deeper layer of influence possessed by private financial institutions. These institutions do not merely hold assets, they are the architects of wealth, forging new currency every time a loan is extended. In a world increasingly dominated by digits and figures, it is crucial to understand that 90% of money circulating today exists not in tangible form, but as ethereal numbers on screens. The curtain rises on the titans of finance, investment banks, hedge funds, and asset management firms. These behemoths, such as BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, wield significant influence not just through their capital, but through their expansive ownership. They cast a wide net, possessing stakes in everything from oil conglomerates to tech startups, from defense contractors to media empires. Their holdings create a tapestry of interconnected financial interests, which can sway entire industries and even nations. This complex web is not the product of conspiracy, but rather meticulous documentation and strategy, showcasing the pervasive grip these entities have on our capitalist system. The influence of these financial giants becomes strikingly apparent during moments of crisis. When markets falter and economies tremble, it is to these powerhouses that governments turn, seeking stability and reassurance. The tentative dances of diplomacy often unfold with these firms at the center, as their investments dictate the flow of prosperity amidst chaos. Furthermore, in times of war or conflict, the financial stakes escalate dramatically, revealing who truly benefits from turmoil. The truth is stark. Money doesn't merely follow orders. It commands them, deciding the fate of nations and the direction of global markets, all while weaving a narrative of financial power that remains largely unseen. In the shadows of global politics, a silent force operates, the invisible empire, shaping the fate of nations without ever casting a shadow. Global financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank command immense power. These organizations convene in high-profile meetings, G20 gatherings, annual summits in Davos, where decisions may seem abstract but carry significant weight on real lives across the globe. They wield influence not through military might or conventional warfare, but by manipulating interest rates and controlling financial flows. When a nation defies their directives, It does not face the clash of weapons but a far more insidious threat: economic suffocation. An economy can flounder, a currency can implode, and loans can disappear into thin air. The power to bring nations to their knees lies not in thermonuclear arsenals, but in invisible ledger sheets. At the core of this empire lies the US dollar, an emblem of financial supremacy. It's not simply the act of printing bills that gives the dollar its might, but rather the staggering reliance of the world's economies upon it. Oil transactions are conducted in dollars, international trade hinges on it, and nations maintain reserves in this singular currency. The dollar becomes the lifeblood of global finance, connecting disparate nations and economies in a web of dependency. Financial headlines often preface rumors of economic turmoil or prosperity. The mere mention of sanctions can obliterate national economies, while wars can escalate tensions, shifting currencies instantaneously. The battlefields of the modern world are no longer defined by flags unfurling in the wind, but by the rise and fall of balance sheets. The invisible empire operates subtly yet effectively, directing the course of nations through financial constraints rather than military interventions. In this new age, it becomes clear that the significant victories and defeats are no longer marked with a bang, but instead resonate through the shifts in interest rates and stock market fluctuations. Nations must navigate these treacherous waters carefully, for their fate rests not in their ability to command armies, but in the strength of their financial standings and the direction taken by the invisible empire.